The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 63. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of BurlyMenGaming, and turn-based Carl. How you guys doing, man? Burly, welcome back.
Doing good. Glad to be back.
Awesome. And Carl, how are you doing, man? Got your Arizona today?
I do, right here. It's very,
awesome.
very delicious.
Awesome.
I'm a little scruffier than I want to be. I wanted to shave, but I find the time hard to come by lately.
Okay. And Burly, did you take your spiritual opium before the episode started? Yeah.
Oh, you know it. What do you think? I have it mixed with the water.
All right, man. All right.
Very, very versatile.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we're going to be talking about the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Burly's going to give his take on that. We're going to be talking about Activision and the Bobby Kotick situation. We'll be updating you a little bit on that. Of course, Xbox had its 20th anniversary celebration. We'll be talking about that along with the Halo multiplayer. That kind of dropped on us. For some people it was a surprise. For some, it's like they already knew it was going to drop. We're going to be talking about that. More game delays. We'll be talking about those later. And of course, our new game releases for the week of November 22nd through the 28th. So before we get into what we've been playing this last week, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get early access to every episode and post-show, as well as listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and on Expat's YouTube channels, Expat YouTube Gaming and The Arena Citadel. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, let me start. This last week, you're going to be surprised. It's a game that popped on Game Pass. I think it's last month now it popped on Game Pass. And I had never thought I would play this game. I knew I wouldn't buy it. But when it came to Game Pass, I was like, oh, what the hell? I'll give it a try. I started playing Avengers. And cool. I played the Kamala Khan part of the game where she's reassembling the Avengers, and it's really fun so far. I'm having a great time with it. I just finished that part. I think it's like the first or second chapter where she goes into the Helix and and Hulk is like in there and chasing her around and smashing everything. That was pretty cool. I'm having fun with it, and I really like Kamala Khan's character.
You like her powers too, right? Cool powers.
Yeah, exactly. There's your shot at Disney Plus, Carl. Yeah. So yeah, I like her powers a lot, and I just like the human story of it, where in the story, everybody that was affected by what happened on Avengers Day in the game, a lot of people started getting these powers. Now, I have to ask you this, Carl and Burly, is in this story of the Avengers game, I started getting people are being affected and getting these, superpowers like Kamala Khan did. Could they be considered like the first X-Men in a sense, like mutants?
Well, they're Inhumans.
Okay.
Which is a variation.
Right.
They have ties all the way back to even, I think, Eternals in a way. Like they're sort of weird variation of humanity. So they have this gene, right? The reason that happens, and this happened in the comics too. There was the Terrigen Mist. This is how Kamala Khan gets her powers in the comics, although I'm not sure how they're going to do it in the show because it's not the same. But if you have the Inhuman gene, your powers don't activate until you undergo Terrigenesis.
I see.
Which traditionally in Inhuman society is a process that happens at adulthood, right? When you reach adulthood, they make you go through it, and when you come out of Terrigenesis, you get your powers, and they could be something creepy and weird, or they could be something awesome and amazing.
Yeah,
you never know. But then, there was an event where a mist happened, and anyone in the world who may have somehow had that gene just popped powers.
Okay. So yeah, I started playing that, so I'm really enjoying it so far. And of course, I started playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer, and we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get into the Xbox discussion later on. So Burly, what have you been playing this past week? Something Japanese related, maybe?
He took that out of that.
I've been playing 2 Japanese games. Judgment. I'm on chapter 4 of Judgment. I am enjoying it, and I am doing Japanese voice acting.
Good.
I'm really looking forward to the 3rd game, where it's all about Kaito, the real hero of the series.
I have to admit, Kaito's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, Kimura Takuya, he's an amazing actor, and it's his original voice for Yagami. So,
I'm really enjoying the story and the gameplay. I have some little gripes of just, we go from big serious thing. Okay, let's just do something and waste time doing something silly, really stupid over silly, just to calm things down, and then ranch stuff. No, come on. Once in a while, that's okay. But when you really do it enough times, I'm sorry, a little spoiler. When you have to spend 20 minutes to a half hour on a case of who ate this girl's cake, and you find out what happened after this whole scene about murders and stuff, it's like, come on.
Yeah, that was my pet peeve too. I was like, come on, I want to get back to the main story, and that happens in Lost Judgment a couple of times as well in the second game. But it's an amazing story though. Yeah, good stuff.
I'm most likely
going to pick up quests. Those are just you got to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. Literally, one of the things is you're trying to get information to find this one guy. You got to go talk to a homeless guy, and he's like, "Oh, before I'll give you the information, go play this VR game for me."
Right.
So you can then get a little prize, give it to me, and then I'll give you info. It's like, oh my god, it's like, I could understand if the mission was, I'm hungry, go get me some food, and I'll give you information or give me some money, fine, but go play a VR game. Oh, come on, Sega, come on, But it's making me, because Lost Judgment is on sale quite a bit right now because of Black Friday deals. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably end up picking that up soon.
Cool. And what's the other game, Burly? You said there was another Japanese game you've been playing.
Yeah, I was streaming yesterday, Pokemon Shining Pearl, the Gen 4 remix. Gen 4 back in the day did not go well with me. When I finished my original copy of Diamond, I traded it in and was off the series for a few years. Because this remake has done things to improve it. For anyone that knows the whole TMs and the whole HM stuff, it's nice that I don't actually have to teach my mons the HMs, like Rock Smash. It's nice if you don't teach to any of your Pokemon, a random Pokemon, they say, comes out of nowhere and uses it for you. So it's just nice not having to do that so I can build better move sets.
That's useful, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And Carl, what about you? What have you been playing this past week?
So yeah, I mean, I didn't really play anything new, just more Forza Horizon 5, which is going well, and there's really not much more to say about that game. I mean, it's, collecting more cars, doing more races, enjoying that. Barn finds, all the like, I spent a little bit more time like painting my cars and modifying them, just trying all the different options, learning how the like rating systems on your cars go, and like putting different parts on to max it out to a certain, like, there's ranks as A, B, C. No, there's C, whatever. There's A, B, S1, S2, and there's a max number on each. And if you want to stay in a certain rank, that keeps you racing against cars of that rank. So you might not want to put it into the next. But anyway.
I see.
So I actually want to talk about Arcane on Netflix.
Yes. On Netflix, yes.
Which is related, sort of, because it is based on a video game. It is based on League of Legends.
Yeah.
And it is actually produced by Riot Games. There's another studio that's doing most of the work on the
they actually are producing. I didn't hear that part.
Yes, they produced it. And it's fantastic. I mean, it is, I would say, probably one of the best, if not the best, like, video game adaptations probably ever.
Yeah.
And it does one of those things where, like, you hoped this could be achieved, which is like, look at your games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, right? Where it's like you have this cast of characters and they're great, right? And you have to figure out, okay, how do I take this awesome cast of characters and build a cool story around them? And League of Legends is similar. It's not a fighting game, but it's like, it's a MOBA, right? It's not like there's a regular storyline that you have to really care about. There's tons of lore. So all these characters, history comes from that lore, but there's not a major plot line that you're following in the game. So, like, they like, all right, we're going to pick whichever characters that we want, and they put them together and made this really great story that gives them incredible, character development and relationships with a few of them, and it just builds the world in such an awesome way. Like, you just want to see more of this world too. Like, you're in one part of this world, but you know that there's more out there. Yeah. And man, I mean, and the animation style.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
And visuals, incredible. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I want to see more of this. Every time when I'm watching, I'm like, they're doing motion capture, right? Like, they must be for the facial animations, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Because it looks that good. Yeah, they must be doing something like that. And other animations, fight stuff. I'm not sure if they're doing mocap, like, for fight choreography. Probably not, but it's all incredible. I mean, it's definitely worth watching for sure and checking out. They just dropped the last 3 episodes of the season. So I don't know how they did the original episodes, but there were 3 that they still didn't put out. They came out on the 20th now, so I got to catch up. I'm like halfway through the series, and I can't wait to finish it out.
Have any of you watched Black Lotus yet?
Yeah, I don't even heard of that.
That's the one that's based on Blade Runner. So
okay,
yeah. It's supposed to be out now. So I really want to watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah. Anyway,
there's a lot of. I mean, like, there's Castlevania, right, on Netflix also.
Yeah,
another adaptation, but I think is better. Like, I enjoy Castlevania.
Oh wow,
yeah,
but this is better. Yeah, Castlevania's like, I don't know. I kind of like that show. I kind of fell off on it. Like, the first season, I was into it, and I forgot how far I got into the second. But just kind of like, it's good, but it's not like engrossing you in the characters and world as much as this is.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Carl, for that. And now it's time to get into our weekly news beat. So Burly, you're gonna be talking about this one because you know some people that have actually had experiences with this. So Rockstar, of course, they released the GTA Definitive, the Trilogy Definitive Edition, and it was just a buggy hell of a mess. And some later news that has come from it is that Rockstar is apologizing for the trilogy and is offering free games to owners. So yeah, they're trying to own up to what's going on. So Burly, why don't you take it away, man, and tell us what's going on and the experiences that your friends that have been playing it have had.
Okay. Yeah, so the whole free games thing, because what had happened is just before this came out, Rockstar had delisted on their own store the PC versions of 3 Vice City and San Andreas. So you could the only way you could play them was the Definitive Edition. And then after this remake Definitive Edition came out and they botched the hell out of it. They're like, okay, here you go. If you bought the Definitive Edition, we will give you those games back. And they re-put the original versions on the stores because they know people are like, this is a dumpster fire. Give us the originals at least. Yeah. I know it's surprising. Rockstar is a small company. They don't have very much money. So it's understandable. No.
It's a small little independent.
Seriously, I gotta say, if you guys pay attention, I knew you guys would react great with that.
And Carl, I'm even drinking right now, and I could react to that.
I know, it's impressive.
You remember that from last week?
That was a double take there. He's like, I can't let that slide.
Okay. No, but like I've known quite a few people playing it on different platforms, PC, console. Like my friend Beckett, who's playing on his PS5. And
shout out to Beckett. Yeah, great guy. Yep.
I agree, 100%. One of my mods. He had just nothing but issues in San Andreas. Certain missions would just not. It was as soon as he started to go in, it would crash. So you got your Cyberpunk or RE8 syndrome for me. It's like this is just a bad showing of these companies do not care. They will throw anything out to make a quick buck. And Rockstar's like, oh, we apologize. We'll do updates. It's like, yeah, you kind of have to. You cannot sell this at a premium price.
Yeah.
And then just say, you will do updates, but this is the state of gaming where we're in. Where most games are not ready at release, and we're going to have to they want us to wait 4 months or however long it takes to get the game that we're promised. So my little thing here is watch and let other people be the freaking beta testers. Watch it enough of people streaming YouTube and good reviewers, not the reviewers that are like, this is an 8 out of 10. I just had some small bugs. You find out they had nothing but crashes, but because they want the developer money and want free copies.
Yeah. This is so unlike Rockstar too, because Rockstar, is seen by a lot of people as being the pinnacle of game development, when it comes to the GTA series, especially, and with Red Dead Redemption, so for this to happen, it's a big misstep by them. And it's getting to the point, guys, where, a few years back, there would be some bug issues and all, and then they would own up to it. But now it's getting to the point where games just don't even work. It's like they're coming out with the game, trying to get your money. And then, with social media the way it is now, you get people pissed off really quickly, and they have to own up a lot quicker than they used to, And it's just for this, to be happening with Rockstar, it's out of the ordinary for sure. Yeah.
It goes to show you it could happen to anyone, right? I mean, any studio could fall from grace very quickly. But it's like this project was, I guess, bit off more than they can chew. I don't see that. I mean, you 3 very large games, right? I mean, obviously GTA games are big, and to try to throw them all out together. And I don't know how much time you put into it and how much developers had to work on this, but clearly not enough. It is a case where it's like, you could argue that, like, why did you have to release all three at the same time? If you're going to, you clearly couldn't make that work. And these are remasters, right? You shouldn't be this. They shouldn't have these issues. It's not a remake. It's not a new game. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that hard. I get, like, obviously you're porting it from something that is completely different, right? It's a very old era of game. But on PC, should it be that different? You're just going from PC to PC. You shouldn't have those issues.
You wouldn't
still
think
have
so.
You still would have some, just because architecture, even from back then, has changed.
Sure, right.
But I agree with you. You shouldn't have these many issues. This just seems like they put 10 guys and said, you have 2 months, do what you can. We need something out for the holidays, just in case Grand Theft Auto Casino only makes us 50 million this year instead of 75 million.
Yeah, they're putting like 5,000 employees on GTA 6 and on Red Dead 3 or whatever the online stuff that they have to work on into, and then like 10 people. Yeah, okay. You work on
you think GTA 6 is being worked on? That's cute.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta wonder what kind of QA they were doing on this, because some of the bugs, not even bugs, some of the things like the rain, right? You saw the rain in the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, how does someone just like let that go? The game looked unplayable like that. I was like, I'm watching the video. I'm like, this is hard to look at. I can't imagine trying to actually play it in that situation.
Yeah. And like the whole thing, I knew people that were like, well, they're doing the right thing because they're giving on Game Pass or PS Now, you get one of the games so you can try. And it's like, they did that just so they could just be like, here, one game's there. It's not the one I want. I'll buy the collection. Because I knew people that were like that. They were like, I wanted to play San Andreas, but on PS Now, all I got was, I think it was Vice City. I was like, that's the one I don't want to really play. I'll just go buy the collection.
Are you serious? Does people think that was some sort of charity? Like,
Microsoft. I heard some people. Mind you, the people I heard this from are not the sharpest tools in the shed. Let's just say.
I mean, Microsoft and Sony are paying for that, right? It's not just yeah. Unless there's like, they're like, oh, it's going to be good marketing. We'll just put it on those services. No, they didn't do that. Come on now.
Yeah.
I think the QA, it's just come out. The QA was Bobby Kotick.
Wow. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good one, Burly, because we're gonna talk about that now. So, Activision Blizzard. Oh God. Okay, so a second walkout was staged this last week, of course. And I'm going to read some of this for you. This is from Eddie McCooch over at GameSpot. The ABK Workers Alliance Group, which represents workers at Activision Blizzard and its subsidiary King, announced the walkout that they did on social media. Quote, "We will not be silenced until Bobby Kotick has been replaced as CEO," end quote. The group said, adding that it continues to demand a third-party review of the company by a source chosen by its workers. And then it goes on, in response, an Activision Blizzard spokesperson provided the following statement to GameSpot. Quote, "We are fully committed to fostering a safe, inclusive, and rewarding environment for all of our employees around the world." I mean, you could just see that Pinocchio nose growing as they're saying this, right? "We support their right to express their opinions and concerns in a safe and respectful manner without fear of retaliation," end quote. So this is the second major Activision Blizzard walkout, and it follows the one in July when the workers group protested the company's, quote, "abhorrent and insulting," end quote, response to the lawsuits. The document claims of sexual harassment of women, pay violations, and a, quote, "frat boy," end quote, culture. So the Wall Street Journal report, that's the big one, though. That's the one that's kicking Bobby Kotick's ass right now, basically. is based on months of reporting, interviews, and source documents, claimed that Kotick had knowledge of numerous sexual assault and harassment claims at Activision Blizzard's various studios. It also said he did not notify the board of directors of an out-of-court settlement to an employee who accused a supervisor of rape. The report also sheds light on the departure of Blizzard's co-leader, Jen O'Neill, and contains accusations of harassment by a Treyarch developer who left the company after the Wall Street Journal began investigating. So yeah, he's been covering up a lot of stuff. And I think as of the time now that we are recording this episode, at least 1,300 and possibly more now petitions have been signed to oust, to get rid of Bobby Kotick. And there was supposed to be a board of directors meeting as well. I think it was yesterday, Burly. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but as of the time of this recording, he's still there. But man, oh man, does he have to go? And of course, our buddy over at Microsoft, Uncle Phil, he was actually speaking out on this as well as Jim Ryan at Sony, talking about the problems and that they really don't like what's going on over there. So this is from Windows Central. Samuel Tolbert over Windows Central. Xbox head Phil Spencer reportedly reevaluating the relationship with Activision Blizzard. So head of Xbox Phil Spencer said in an email to employees in which he stated that he and the rest of Xbox leadership are, quote, disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and action, end quote, as reported by Bloomberg, of course, previously. Spencer reportedly goes on to note that Xbox is, quote, evaluating all aspects of our relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments, end quote. So, yeah, I mean, this is just me, okay? If I were Microsoft, I would go after Activision now. I really would. Because if you really want to get rid of this guy and get rid of the scum that's working there, you buy them out and then you kick them out.
But you let this continue and go on. That stock price will go. You can buy Activision on pennies on the dollar. Why pay the top price that you pay now? You wait a good 3 months and more stories. That stock is going to be worth like Enron is today.
Yeah, but could you imagine, though? Could you imagine? I mean, there's all this talk of, possible acquisition in the near future for Microsoft. Maybe it's going to be Activision. Who knows?
Boy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd want to touch it because there's too much negativity going around it. It's like I get it would be smart, but it's also not smart at the same time. Yeah. But like this morning when I woke up, my first thing to check was, is Bobby Kotick still have a job?
Still there? Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for that too. I was looking to see if he'd be gone by now, but no. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean Blizzard, is a beloved company, and I think people want that to be saved. So I think from that angle, people might be like, "Oh yeah, Microsoft's can at least save that company if that were to happen." Obviously, And then Mike Ibarra, right? He's gonna get promoted again to CEO after Kotick's gone, and then,
maybe
Microsoft will buy him, and he'll be back at Microsoft.
There you go, man. Yeah. Yep. The dominoes are falling, man. Yeah.
Mike Ibarra, man. He's like, I'd be hilarious if Kotick was fired and then Ibarra got promoted again.
Yeah.
Very fortuitous of him to join this company that's in a lot of trouble and keep getting promoted.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story about? Remember, they appointed for Blizzard. It was like co-presidents or whatever, Mike Ibarra and that woman. I don't remember her name. And she left, right? And now he's doing it himself. And the story came out that like she was like basically a figurehead, and she. They weren't giving her equal power and they weren't giving her equal pay.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe you seriously, like you don't think this stuff goes on today, but like in a video game company, and we hear this news publicly, these two people are going to take over after, all this crap going on at Blizzard. And then you find out that, they're not really being good people. They're not doing what's right at all still in this company. I mean, and then you hear this stuff now with Kotick, and you're like, yeah, of course, obviously they're not doing the right thing. He's one of these guys who, especially in America, there's a lot of these people in power, who have money, who just think like, I can just get away with anything, and I'm going to try to get away with anything. And even now, more so than ever, there are the type who's like, I'm going to get caught, and I'm just going to try to, roll with it, and see how far they'll push me. See if I can just get through this, and one day they'll forget about it. And unfortunately, that happens too often.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have them probably thinking about, well, if I do have to leave, I'm going to get a nice severance package.
Oh my God, he's going to get so much money.
Yeah.
And he already has it from like his $200 million bonus last year and all. So he Bobby Kotick financially is fine. Like,
yeah, like, dude, move on.
I kind of hope he gets sued personally, and just a bunch of this money just starts going to the people that got affected by him.
That and paying for attorney's fees and all. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But let me ask you guys this. I mean, let's say, of course, that's pretty drastic, but Microsoft, buying Activision Blizzard. Let's say that, of course, that's not going to happen. Probably, I would love it to, but so, do you think Sony, Microsoft? Do you think they would stop selling Activision Blizzard games as the most drastic measure? Besides actually trying to buy them out to get rid of Kotick? Like, for example, Sony not putting Call of Duty, on the PlayStation Store, and Xbox doing, the same. What do you guys think?
You would have told me a few years ago they wouldn't do this. I'd say that they would think of doing this. I'd say you're fucking nuts. But that they've gone out and said this, I'm wanting them to kind of, you said this makes you look good saying this. Mm-hmm. Now you got to put up or shut up. Here, because the problem is, like, still, if you go, they backpedaled a bit on the PlayStation Store, but used to be, if you go on the web store for PlayStation Store, Call of Duty was one of those games that's always front and center. Yeah, even with Vanguard. Mm-hmm. Like, I would love for them to really take a stance. Like, Sony did stop selling Cyberpunk, remember?
Yeah.
So that still surprised me a bit.
Yeah.
Stop selling their stuff.
Was, of course, Cyberpunk was a completely different issue with, like technical issues and all that, but but now it's at a point where, hey, it's like, what's going on there is inappropriate and it's unacceptable, and we can't endorse your products until there's changes.
So. I don't think that would ever happen. I think that's a bit extreme. Not that it wouldn't send a great message and it would really be effective, but I just don't see that. There's too much money involved, and there's probably too many contracts involved for you to really do something like that. Now, I do think that Sony is in a stronger position to do something because they have such strong marketing ties with Call of Duty. Like, they could, and maybe they should at this point announce, like, we're not going to renew any new marketing with Call of Duty, just to like get ahead of it, because that there's going to be another Call of Duty next year, and what is Sony just going to have the marketing deal with them again after this is all blows over? I mean, I'm sure they're already working on the deal right now, right? I mean, you would think, right? I imagine these deals aren't done relatively close to the release date, right? So
another thing that they could do is possibly withdraw their sponsorships from, like, the Overwatch League for Blizzard, or something like that. So
there's plenty of things to be done.
What was that league Sony bought? That one esports league thing they bought? Evo, that's it. Yeah. I'm blanking on the name. They could always just say, no, their stuff ain't there.
Do they have any fighting games?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Evo's pure fighting. Okay.
Yeah.
The opium's clouding the mind. I know.
Yeah. They got a MOBA, right? There's a Blizzard MOBA.
Yeah.
Is that still around? Does it still exist? Heroes of the Storm, right? I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of Bobby Kotick. That's enough of him. Let's talk about something really positive here, which happened this last week, the Xbox 20th anniversary celebration. And I really enjoyed watching that because it was a blast from the past for me, because I remember watching The Rock on stage with Bill Gates, showing Bill Gates up there when the Xbox was being shown for the first time. That was really cool. So, yeah, a lot of we had some announcements at the anniversary. We didn't have any new game announcements, obviously, because that, they had announced before the celebration that there weren't going to be any new game announcements, but we did get some pretty interesting announcements, and I'm going to read some of that now. This is from Windows Central over Alexander Cope over there at Windows Central. So the biggest announcement was that Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode was going to be available to download on that particular day. So now if you want to play the Halo Infinite multiplayer mode, which I must add, it's in beta, but still, it's free right now on Xbox Series X, Series S, and PC via Steam. So that was a pretty big announcement, actually. And a lot of people had been speculating earlier that, it's going to drop, But
yeah, we talked about that last week, and we were wrong. We didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And for your achievement hunters, you can start getting your achievements already, because I've gotten a couple achievements in the multiplayer beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's working out really well for them. I mean, the audience was there; they were hungry and waiting. So I guess it didn't matter at all when you released it. And it is beta now, so it's not. They say they're getting away with that. I don't know. Like, everything is in there, right? There's nothing that's not in there at this point.
Yeah.
Although they are, and they already have adjusted the battle pass. What do you call it? Leveling experience and progression. That's the word.
Yeah, progression. XP.
That's been adjusted. So, like,
right.
If you want to say that's what the beta's about at this point, is like, how is everybody receiving sort of that and adjusting things, and then when the final product is, that'll be the official, like, all right, we're not gonna. But that's not true, because it's a service game, right? They're always going to keep changing it. So, like, I don't know really why you're calling it a beta, but whatever.
Well, hats off to the multiplayer team there at Xbox too. I mean, they're listening to the fans, they're listening to the players, and they're making those changes as quick as they can. So, okay, and the second big announcement they discussed were that 76 games have been announced for the backwards compatibility program, which is going to be the completion of the compatibility program. So these games include the Max Payne series, the Fear series, From Software's Otogi series, Dead or Alive Ultimate, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, and many more. So what did you guys think of that? So it pretty much completes the library, so to speak, of especially like the 360 titles that they wanted to add to this compatibility program. So yeah, that was pretty cool. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, it's a lot of games. It's nice. I'm going to be sad that this is ending. I want more. And they said the rest are due to, like, marketing, licensing, and and other issues that they can't
legal
get them.
issues, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it does sound that they exhausted all options, right? At this point, they've looked into everything. The weird one is that, like, MechAssault is still not a game that they can have on backwards compatibility, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Man, that licensing of that property, the Mech Warrior, and what is there? There's another name around that, but that whole thing is, like, really bizarre that they can't. They seem to own part of it, yet we can't figure out how to get that game on there. Come on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And Phil Spencer came out this last week too, and was mentioning also about when it comes to legal emulation, he really wants to see that move forward too. So,
yeah. And there's a bunch of FPS boost titles. I don't know if you were going to say that next, because that was this part of the same announcement. Yeah. How many were there? I don't remember. more,
It
30
doesn't-
something.
Something like that, yeah.
20 something to 30 something,
Yeah.
which notably, like for me, there weren't any of the new backwards compatibility games that I was going to really play, but I held off on Dead Space 2 in hopes that something would drop, and now that that's 60 FPS, I'm excited to jump into that. Because the first game, I mean, I played it in the original, and it was fine in 30 FPS, but like I was like, I really wish it would be nice to get 60 on that. And there was another one I forgot that I was interested in. I'm so disappointed that like Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and War weren't in there. It's like, come on, no 60 frames on that. Fucking hell. Better
Yeah, it says here. It says in the article, 37 games.
37.
Cameo, or Cameo, Elements of Power, Nier, Alan Wake, the entire Gears of War series, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fear 1 and 2, and much more. Will have the higher frame rate. So,
Microsoft's been doing great on this stuff. This is stuff I really like with Microsoft. They're not just, here's our new games. This is what we're selling. Like, this is what you got, the new console. That's all you get. You can play as much of it. And I get it, like some of the licensing deals, because some of these companies are like, well, you're Microsoft, you can pay us $7 million for this niche title, and Microsoft's like, okay, you guys aren't like Halo where we can spend the money, willing to spend the money because we're going to get a lot of people for this. Like, they're having those deals, and it's just great that I can go back and play games on the original Xbox that I never got to play, load them up on my Series S. And just play.
Yeah. That's other things. It's like licensed music and things like that, where they probably just it's too much, right? Too much licensing involved. Like they're just not going to be able to get like Jet Set Radio Future, right?
Yeah.
There's just so much music in that game. Like I don't know. I guess they can't. As far as I know, I don't think FPS Boost, that type of program, is done. Right? They're just saying that the backwards compatibility. Is over. So like there is the potential for more FPS boosts, which hopefully we do see.
Yep. And then finally a 6-part.
We got more backwards compatibility. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Burly. That's fine.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised we get more backwards compatibility. I don't think it'll be a giant push anymore. Like it'll be the odd time. Like let's say the guys that own that they've been in talks with for Mech Assault and Mech Warrior and stuff like that go, yeah, okay, you know what? We're willing to make a deal. We might as well take the small cut we can, and then Microsoft will throw them out on the store.
Yeah. Cool. I think the only exception would be an acquisition. Like if they were to buy someone that had a game that wasn't backwards compatible, maybe they would add that. But I think they're done. I think they really are.
Yeah. And then finally, a 6-part documentary titled Power On, the Story of Xbox will be debuted on December 13th of this year, and it will premiere on YouTube, IMDb, TV, Redbox, Roku, and more. This documentary will chronicle the development history of the Xbox brand from the initial conception of the original Xbox all the way up to the modern Xbox Series X. So yeah, that should be pretty cool on December 13th. Looking forward to watching that. So many good documentaries have come out over the past couple of years. Especially like on Netflix. This is another one that's being added to the great amount of documentaries out on video games the past couple of years. So looking forward to that, man. Yep.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. That's fun.
Yeah, Burly, you're going to check it out too, right? Yeah.
Stuff. No, I definitely will watch it. I'm very curious.
Cool. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So a couple of game delays. And this one I thought would be predictable. Saints Row delayed to August of 2022. So, of course, they're saying to improve quality. We have to improve quality. Yeah. Well, you're right. You're right before Elden Ring. You're right before, you're right in there in the mix with Dying Light 2 and all the other games that are coming out in February. Horizon, Forbidden West. Yeah. Come on. I mean, of course, they always say this, don't they? It's to improve in quality because the standards are not up to what we, want to provide to our players and the gamers out there. But yeah, I think a part of it was because of February. Anyway, and what do you guys think of this? Yeah.
Did they give a new date? What did it say?
Let's see. The actual day, August 23rd, 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a sizable delay. So yeah, I mean, obviously maybe they didn't want to be in that mix, but they clearly have work to do. And when they announced that game and then the release date they gave, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
So I think, I give them the benefit of the doubt on that. They want to make the best game they can, obviously. Delays are good. Look at Halo Infinite, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, if it was that long, sorry, Burly, let me just say this. But if it was that long that they needed, why did they pick February in the beginning? They should have said, okay, it's going to be in the summer. Just give a release window, like, okay, summer of 2022 or something like that.
Yeah. They got the shareholders, right? Please those shareholders. Like, look, we're gonna put out a product at this day. We're working. We are okay. Leave us alone.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I have a feeling part of it is the whole February thing, but the realistic thing, I probably think they looked at how GTA came out and be like, okay, if Rockstar can't get away with their game being a dumpster fire like this, if we release ours this bad, we're done. Like, yeah. So I think they've got a lot of work too, because they know the series has been dropping off. I think they realize, because they want to try and get the series back, you can't, if you release this game and it's not really good quality, the series is finished, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're starting to see that the patience isn't there anymore with the gamers, because time after time now, if a game comes out and it's hugely buggy, like, you're just like, that's fine. I got something else to play. There's so many other games to play. I'll still play it, but I'll duck out if you don't fix it right away. I mean, if you're looking at COD right now, Vanguard and Battlefield 2042. I mean, those games are not looking good, and I kind of think that Halo Infinite is just going to crush those games for the rest of the year and beyond.
Yeah. That's what I did with Cyberpunk. I mean, I put it aside, and I still haven't played it since. I probably won't play it until next year. That's just me. But
yeah, I mean, if you had a next-gen console, you kind of had no excuse. Like, it ran very well. I didn't have very many issues. Yeah, there was some of the stuff still in there, of course, bugs, a few bugs here and there, but like...
Yeah. But then back to what you were saying is there's so many games to play. It's just I got sidetracked on other games too. So
yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, if you don't feel like it's giving you the experience you want, it's super easy for you to duck out and jump into something else.
Yeah, and just wait. Yeah. And the other game that's been delayed into 2022, we didn't get another release date on it, is 6 Days in Fallujah. Now, we've talked about this game before on a previous episode of the show, and there's a lot of controversy behind it. Because it depicts the actual events of the the siege of Fallujah during the Iraq War. So I don't know. What do you guys think? They didn't really give a definitive reasoning for the delay. Maybe it's because of the pressure that's coming from activist groups, or maybe it's a development issue. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's hard to tell, I think, really. Yeah.
I don't think it's the human rights Activision and activist stuff. I think it's more, we put this out even though Call of Duty and Battlefield are dumpster fires. But they're still big franchises and people talk about this. And then with Halo coming out in just a few weeks, this game ain't going to get played.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, because I know a lot of people that are really into shooters, and most of them have not even heard of this game. So
right, and the trailer that they came out with, it doesn't even show any gameplay in it. I mean,
I didn't even know about this delay until I read it in the rundown. So
Same.
I don't think that this is on most people's radars.
No.
They're probably like, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea for this to be a Christmas gift for anyone. Just push it into next year.
Carl.
Damn it. Now I got to get
Number
Expat
one
a
on
different
my
Christmas
list.
gift. I got to get Expat a different Christmas gift.
Like, we don't want the story.
Carl, yeah, we got to get Carl this for his Christmas gift because State of Decay and all of those, like horrific deaths. That's too much. Yeah.
They don't want to end up on CNN where there's some terrible story about somebody, some Iraq war veteran who's like or was it Iraq or who gets this as a gift because somebody doesn't realize like it could be insensitive. It's a terrible news story.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's jump into the topic of the show now. So,
nothing important.
Been a lot of crap going on this week. A lot of talk on social media about what's been happening with the Game Awards and with the Game of the Year selections. And how the Game Awards should be done. Me, honestly, I'm gonna just throw this out there because I threw it up on Twitter, and Carl, you and Burly, you saw this. First, I was debating whether or not it should be like a data type of collection when it comes to considering Game of the Year. But then again, I thought, and some others replied to me and saying, well, what about the smaller games and the games that come out like in the fall? People don't have the whole year to play those games. So then I thought, well, Jeff Keighley, why don't you make the Game Awards or show the Game Awards in the summer, like right before opening night live, like make it a doubleheader event. And so that you give the gamers, the actual people who play the games, the chance to vote, not the journalists. The journalists aren't the ones that are going to, decide the Game of the Year. Give the gamers 6 months to vote, or at least 3 months to vote on every game that came out in that calendar year, and then come out with the awards, right before opening night live and have their Game of the Year show for the previous year. So then there wouldn't be any controversy about, well, this game it couldn't be nominated because it didn't get into that window, or a game like Forza Horizon 5 that it just barely made the window or whatever. But these journalists, they didn't really have enough time to play and to assess the game, so to speak. If you bring out the nominations like in March, then everybody has a chance to vote. You have say 3 months to vote, and then they give the awards out in June, and then the next day they do opening night live for E3. That's just me. What do you guys think?
Ooh, well, there's a lot to say here.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying with the date, moving it. I mean, there's merit to that. It makes sense, right? Why did Keighley choose this time of year? I'm sure there's good reason, right? I'm sure marketing value, right? Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of reasoning, timing. You don't want to get too close to Christmas, obviously, and in January, I don't know. I think maybe nobody cares to do anything in January. I don't know. Whatever the deal is, right? There's got to be a reason. And it does stink for some games, right? But I think that's a pretty small window, right? There's not a lot of games that are falling in late November and to December. Yeah. I think we're seeing that right now, but that's because there's been a lot of delays and things getting pushed. And
they're already, let me just say this, Carl, they're already starting to talk about Starfield for next year. If it does hit that November window, it's going to be in the same situation, probably.
It's very close. It's a very big game. Here's the thing is, and this is what I was just going to say, is that, if you care, if Microsoft cares and they want their games to be nominated, then you need to get your release copies out well ahead of that date, or you need to move your date well ahead of that. if you don't care, then it is what it is. Like, you know when these dates are. They're not. It's not a secret, right? It's like, I can't say that there's some sort of conspiracy, or there's some, like, people are getting screwed. I mean, yeah, they sort of are, but like, they do know this is going to happen, the publishers, before it happens. It's not a surprise.
Yeah. Burly, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, like I agree with the earlier voting and kind of doing it around E3, but I've always thought do this in mid to late January, because that way you give anyone that can't get a game out till December, they've at least gotten a few weeks for people to try, play, and that early November, do it the whole calendar year. But I get it. They want to put it in December because they're also trying to sell these games. Yeah. Because they also want to, you did buy it for Christmas, everyone. Buy your copies of whatever games, or your Game Pass subscriptions for some of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the process is always going to be viewed as unfair by someone, no matter what you do, right? The thing is, like, there is a transparency in how this process works, right? You can go to Game Awards website and you can look at the list of the jury. You can look at the FAQ, and they tell you how the process goes. Now, you're not seeing the inner side of it from every outlet's angle, from media outlets. But I mean, you can't create a perfect system. It's never going to happen.
No, of course not.
But you can make changes. Like, I do think there's a place to change this. Game of the year. I did have the one idea where I'm like, I think maybe Game of the Year could be split into two separate categories, because, like, your narrative driven games seem to be the ones that are always winning, right? Or being nominated. So like, if you split that into two, like narrative driven and maybe like gameplay driven, and how you decide that, and whatever you want to name these categories, I don't know how you would do it, right? But then maybe you could potentially get other things, like even a strategy game or a sim game, if it's good enough.
Or a horror game. I mean, you have all the different genres of video game, that they could just have a specific, this is the game of the year in the horror genre. This is the game of the year in the narrative genre. Something like
it is weird that they single out certain categories. Like, there's strategy sim, and there's racing sports, right? Yeah. But maybe the reason for something like that, and there's also family, right, is because they know those games will never get nominated, right? So like they already had the idea, like, well, we want to honor these other games, because people aren't looking at it that way. Like, why do you think those categories exist? Yeah. I mean, because look, sports games, racing games, they can be amazing, but they really are the same thing every year. And that's not a dig at these games. It's because, basketball is basketball, right? Like, you're not reinventing the sport the next time you make the next game. Racing is racing, right? I mean, Forza is doing something amazing and different, right? But it's not, compared to like last year, it's still the same sort of Forza. And if you're looking even I think in a worse situation, is your track racers like Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport, right? I mean, they're using the same tracks a lot. They may have new ones, but I mean, these are real world tracks, right? They're not going to change. Right. So you're going to see a lot of the same stuff in these games, and they're iterative games. Right. You can't say a lot. That's why a lot of people just won't vote for that for Game of the Year.
Yeah. Well, let me just go over the Game of the Year nominations here. I'm not going to go through any of the other nominations. For all of you listeners and viewers, if you want to go to the Game Awards site, they have the whole list of nominations. But anyway, Game of the Year, Deathloop. There you go, Burly. Yeah, you played Deathloop. Yeah. It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Those are the nominations. So the biggest surprise for me with these Game of the Year nominations here was Resident Evil Village. I was surprised that made it in there.
Yeah, I did not expect that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. on that.
Yeah.
Actually, of note, I thought it was cool that RPG of the Year, Cyberpunk 2077 is a nominee.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hey, for
And
all
it's
those
not
people
even
who
a 2021 game. Yeah.
yeah, well, because it missed the cutoff. So like that's the
Yeah,
reason I
yeah.
bring it up, right? Is a game that missed the cutoff, and
Yeah.
they can still be nominated, and here they have. And
Yeah.
honestly, like looking at the choices, that's the one I'd vote for because it is at its core a very good game, like a really good game. Like there's a good story. There's a lot of cool stuff to do in that game. So
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say one more thing that pissed me off more than the Resident Evil Village thing. The content creator of the year, Expat, was not nominated. God damn it!
Oh
I
no.
wasn't nominated either. So how do you?
BurlyMenGaming on Twitch, man, he should have been nominated. Damn it!
Give me a nomination at least.
I was surprised when I saw that list. I was like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah. Burly, do you know any?
I don't understand.
I've heard the names. I'll be honest. I've not watched. Here's the thing. Like I don't watch a lot of the high big top streamers. Nothing against them. I just I don't fucking have time. I'm supporting other people. I'm doing my own stuff and everything. And it's like
and one of them, their picture was like a little, almost like a stick figure drawing. What was that? It was like a really crude, like. What is this? I guess you don't show. I guess that person doesn't show their face. I'd imagine, right? That's I don't know anything about them. Sorry.
Okay, Carl. So, for the Game of the Year topic of the show here, you had your own ideas for the Arena podcast here of how we would come up with nominations. Do you want to describe that to our listeners and viewers? What were you thinking of?
So I came up with an exercise just because I want to show people how this can happen, right? Like, why isn't Forza Horizon 5 nominated, right? Yeah. That's the big story. And I get it. Like, people want it to be nominated. Mm-hmm. A lot of people do. But there are a lot of great games that come out every year. And every publication is going to have their own system. So, like, what is that system? And they put out their nominations. So like, okay, I came up with one just because if we were going to do it, we would have to come up with one. Right. So each one of us put in 2 games, right? So a total of 6 different games that were nominated. Mm-hmm. And those games were, we've got Psychonauts 2, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, Forza Horizon 5, Lost Judgment, Kenna, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And then what we did then was we had to come up with a way to get a certain number of nominations. Now, actually, I was originally gonna cut it because numbers wise, you got to think that another publication is going to have more staff, right? So they have more people weighing in. So I was going to cut the numbers, but actually, the way the numbers worked out, it worked out to go along with what the Game Awards think. And I actually want to read the Game Awards official FAQ thing where they say here that each voting outlet completes a confidential unranked ballot based on the collective and diverse opinion of its entire editorial staff, listing out its top 5 choices in each category. And then it says ballots are tabulated and the 5 games that appear on the most ballots are put forth as nominees. In the event of a tie, 6 or more nominees will be announced in a category. Okay. So what happened with ours, based on our ranking, is that we had a 3-way tie for third place, right? So originally I was gonna be like, all right, we'll just throw out 3 nominees. But what we ended up with was that Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank are like official, like those were top tier, those were the winners, those were getting nominated. But then you had 3 others tie in our rankings, and that was Kenna, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kenna,
Guardians,
and Lost Judgment. So even in our ranking, poor little Forza Horizon 5 got kicked to the curb.
Yeah, and you know, we at least got it up in the top. Like we tried.
Yeah. And you know what happened? It's very interestingly was that so I had done this a mock way, just assuming what you guys would vote for, just because I wanted to come up with a system, something that would work, right? And I got Expat's choices right. His two choices. I got Burly's wrong. I got one of them, of course, was right, which Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
And but the other one, he went with Guardians of the Galaxy. And because he chose that, and because I changed my ranking to put Guardians above Forza Horizon 5. Now, this is all, hypothetical, right? I didn't play most of these games. So, like, I'm just trying to say, like, if I was really looking at this, and let's say I played these games, right, how I might vote, right? Because none of this is real. So, obviously, it doesn't matter. But because I put Guardians above Forza in my list, that made Forza get kicked out. So, like, I sort of killed it, even though I was the one who put Forza Horizon in. And it's because Burly gave me another choice. And that right there is exactly my point. Okay.
Yeah.
If we look at this list of games and the list of games that everyone is sort of putting out there for nominations.
Yeah.
I think the average gamer is going to say, like, yeah, I prefer something like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that is more worthy of Game of the Year than Forza Horizon 5. Even if you love that Forza Horizon 5. Like, a lot of the gamers, just that's how it goes. I mean, and it makes sense when you play so many games. That's the thing is if you play enough of these great games, it becomes a hard choice.
Yeah.
Something's got to go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. One last note on the Forza Horizon thing. I know you rib on me every time I bring up IGN, but I was listening to one of their shows.
Yes.
And Ryan McCaffrey did say that Forza Horizon 5 was on their ballot for Game of the Year. So, and will be, they said, one of their Game of the Year nominations. So, don't blame them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
so,
what was the other game you thought I was going to pick instead of Guardians?
Oh, actually,
I'm just curious. I got to see what.
Yeah. Wait. Where do I? Oh, Metroid Dread.
Oh, you thought it would be Dread?
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of this list for the Game Awards of Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village? What do you think's going to win? I think, Carl, I know you think Psychonauts 2 is going to win, right? Of this list.
It's my bias. I want it to win, and
yeah.
But do I legitimately think it has a chance? Yes.
Yeah.
Will it though? Oh, it's tough. I mean, if you look at the total number of nominees in different categories, Deathloop has the most.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that it wins. But that doesn't necessarily mean it will win. It Takes Two and Psychonauts 2 also have several other big nominations.
Right. And with Deathloop, it's exclusively on PlayStation 2. I'll just throw that out there too. So.
if you're implying that matters.
I'm not implying anything, man. I'm just saying it's exclusively on PlayStation right now,
Yeah.
Yeah. Burly, what do you think, man? Yeah.
Those are the front runners, those three.
Yeah.
I would love Ratchet to win. That's been my Game of the Year. I've been saying that for months. Yeah. But it ain't gonna win. I just know it in my heart. It'll either be Deathloop or Knowing Just to Kick Me in the Balls by Capcom. RE Village.
Nah, they ain't got no chance. Come on now.
I want to say you're right, man. I really do. But I just know my dumb luck at these kind of things.
Yeah.
I wonder how it got in there, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Really, really surprised.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna go out there on this one. I think there's gonna be a surprise. I think It Takes Two is gonna win it. I really do.
That's one of the front runners. Like I said, yeah.
Yeah. I think so many people had fun playing it, and of course, obviously, the free Friends Pass you can get with it. It's just I personally haven't played it yet, but I know a lot of people who have, and they've just said it's an amazing game. The art style is amazing. Just the narrative is amazing as well. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And then that Joseph Ferris guy, he'll jump on stage and say "F the Oscars" again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I'm sure. Yeah, he'll say something like that.
I
He'll
think
he'll be on his spiritual opium when he goes on stage. I'm sure. Yeah. So.
If I was like voting, I would kind of want to like spread some stuff around, right?
Mhm.
You kind of want to get some representation from different things out there, and
Yeah.
I could see, let's say, like It Takes Two is nominated for best family game and best like multiplayer, I think, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Which
co-op,
I think kind of
yeah,
because it has co-op, which I don't know if that's the spirit of the multiplayer nomination there, but I mean,
I think it should be two
yes.
completely different categories. I think multiplayer, like and co-op should be different. So
yeah, because I kind of feel like It Takes Two is more. It's basically a single player game that you're forced to play with one other person.
Right.
It's not multiplayer in the sense that I think most people are thinking when you say it.
Yeah.
But family game, I mean, maybe you could argue, let's say it wins that, right? And then let's say you want to give Psychonauts 2 Game of the Year, just because that's what I want. And I could see you then giving best direction to a different game like Deathloop, because I think Deathloop is doing a lot more unique things with gameplay, with even performances and the time looping stuff. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in that game that I could say takes quite the bit of directing to pull off, versus like a more traditional type of game like Psychonauts 2, which maybe you could say is the best overall for other reasons, right? But not direction. And they do that in the Oscars, right? Sometimes best picture doesn't win the same as best director.
Right. One other thing I want to point out about the Game Awards too is, and it's people been talking about this a lot, and I have too, that a lot of the Japanese games and Japanese developers were snubbed this year as well. Obviously, Lost Judgment was not in any category. A game
Small
like
tier.
Tales of Arise. Okay, Carl. Okay,
that was nominated for right RPG of the Year, I think.
What game?
Yeah, it was Tales of Arise. I'm pretty sure with it was going up with Bravely Default 2 and Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but a lot of people thought it should have been nominated for more.
Nah, get that out of here. Get that JRPG out of here.
I will allow that. Okay, so but you know what I'm talking about. There was not much Japanese gaming representation in this year's awards, and but then again, a lot of people out here in Japan don't even know much about the Game Awards anyway. So yeah. But
I mean, look, best RPG is all Japanese games except for Cyberpunk. So
yeah. But
that's
the
their
other
category, man. That's their category. Now, maybe it'd be insulting if they don't win that one.
Well, it's insulting that Lost Judgment is not in the Game of the Year category. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So okay.
Sad.
So yeah, very sad. Okay. Now it's time for the new game releases for the week of November 22nd through the 28th. My pick this week.
Still releasing games, huh?
Still, yeah.
None of these
still
games
releasing games
can be nominated for Game of the Year. How rude.
Well, yeah. Well, some of these games have been out for a while, but they're being released on another platform. So, yeah. So, my pick for this week, and this is from releases.com, so you can go and check out the site and you can see all the games that are coming out in November. But for the 22nd through the 28th, I'm picking, and maybe you guys would probably agree with me on this, Death's Door. Yeah.
The PlayStation release and Switch, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm picking Death's Door as my pick for this week's release. So, reaping souls of the dead and punching a clock might get monotonous, but it's honest work for a crow. The job gets lively when your assigned soul is stolen, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry. So on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Switch on November 23rd. So yeah, it's gotten rave reviews, and I really want to play it myself. So Death's Door is my pick of the week. Burly, do you have another pick, or is yours also Death's Door this week?
No, I do have another pick, one that may shock you.
Uh-oh.
Mine, mine is A Gummy's Life.
Okay.
Okay.
The
right.
art style alone, I don't know why. Warning, in A Gummy's Life, gummies have come to life, and they are unmanageable. Choose your favorite gummy along a great variety. Customize it to your taste, enjoying, playing, and laughing with your friends or your family, showing who's in charge of the sugar.
Okay.
It's coming on Thursday, November 25th. It was already out on PC for early access, but it's coming to your PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series.
Cool. All right. Carl, what's your pick?
I'll pick something silly here. How about Deer Simulator?
Okay.
Your average everyday deer game. Actually, because I saw a trailer for this once, and it's just like it is the most absurd looking simulator game. It's like Goat Simulator, but like cranked up to 11 with deer.
Yeah, and coming to Game Pass. Yeah,
it's Game Pass. Yeah, so put simply, Deer Simulator is slow life town destruction game. You can spend your days enjoying a nice, relaxed frolic here and there together with other animals around town, or you can choose to relieve some stress and absolutely destroy the town and everything in it. And that's it says November 23rd for PC and Xbox, and then it is for some reason November 25th for PlayStation 4 and Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so those are our picks of the week for the new game releases for November 22nd through the 28th. And now we have a new little segment we're doing for the episodes called the Game Pass Passageway. So our new segment in which we look at new titles coming to Xbox Game Pass for the week. So for this week of November 22nd through the 28th, Carl, this one's on you, man. So you just already went over one of the games.
Prepared.
There is only one other game besides Deer Simulator that's coming out this week. Yes, yes. And what is it?
We can do this on a week-to-week basis now because there's just so many games.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's called the Game Pass Passageway.
I know. I don't have
Okay,
it.
I'll give you a hint. It's a Souls type game.
Oh, it's Mortal Shell?
That's right. Yes.
I got it. See, look, it was in the brain. It was in there.
Burly, man, you shouldn't have gave him so much spiritual opium. You shouldn't have laced his Arizona.
No, it's not. I haven't sent any yet. It's all the State of Decay.
Oh yeah.
This is why I was gone.
Yeah. State of DeCarl. Yeah.
I had to go. I went to a meeting for people that get obsessed with State of Decay to help people in case Carl ever gets to that point, because I care about Carl.
Became a counselor for people with addictions to specifically State of Decay 2.
Decay 2, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're addicted to State of Decay 1, I may be able to help. Any other game, I'm out.
Okay, Carl. So, what's Mortal Shell? What's Mortal Shell all about, man?
Why do you think I know? Come on now. It's a game. It's a cheap knockoff of Dark Souls. How about that?
Okay.
No, that's wrong. That's mean to say. I know people like it. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like a thing ready to read here.
I've got something ready to read.
I'm a terrible person.
Okay.
I'll take this one. I got it up. Mortal Shell is a deep action RPG that tests your sanity and resilience in a shattered world. Your adversaries spare no mercy, with survival demanding superior awareness, precision, and instincts. Possess lost warriors, track down hidden sanctums of the devout, and face formidable foes. And this has been on a lot of platforms. I did see this with another streamer. It's got a very interesting art style.
Yeah.
But it's a Souls game, so...
Yep, it'll drive you crazy. Yep, it'll drive you crazy.
Souls.
Yep, that's for sure.
I mean, it looks really pretty. I would like to try it, because generally I don't play Souls games, but if I'm going to be able to play one without paying for it additionally, then that's a good thing to try, because it is a game where like the other games where I get so mad, and depending on the game, how much time I want to put into it, that I'm not going to keep playing it, and I'll feel like I've wasted my money if I don't put enough time into it.
Yeah. Okay, so now I want to tell all you viewers and listeners out there about our announcements for Patreon. This coming week, we're going to be, of course, doing our Marvel show, the Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena, where we will be discussing the last Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, as well as the Eternals movie. We're going to be giving our reactions to that as well. So please stay tuned for that. That's our only announcement for Patreon shows this week. Our Warp Factor 10 Star Trek show is going to be starting up pretty soon, so stay tuned for more information on that. So we're going to be reacting to Discovery Season 4 episodes as they come out. So please stay tuned for that. So now it's on to what we will be playing this coming week. So I'll start with you, Burly. What are you going to be playing or streaming this upcoming week?
Pokemon. Let's be honest, that just came out, and I'm just getting into that. So that's mostly going to be on what I'll be playing for the next while on stream, and I'll be working on Judgment off stream.
Cool. Carl, what about you, man?
I don't even know. Yeah.
I've watched Carl. Yeah,
I know. I haven't played State of Decay in probably a while, a couple, maybe a week. I don't think I've turned it on. Although I did see update 28 coming, and they're doing weirdly, they're doing some graphical updates for one of the maps, which I'm like, okay, that's bizarre, but all right. And then they're still adding stuff, so like that makes me want to always jump back in. They always try to hook me. But actually, I have a list of TV shows I gotta catch up on, because there's just so much out there. Obviously I'm still watching Arcane. Cowboy Bebop is out. The anime live action adaptation. Wheel of Time is out also
on Amazon.
Dope Sick is something that I wanted to check out. We just watched Shang-Chi last night, me and my wife.
Cool.
The Great Season 2. If you've ever seen The Great, it's a fantastic show on Hulu. The Witcher Season 2 is coming up.
Coming soon.
Dexter, of course, already has new episodes out. The new, whatever subtitle they gave that new version of the show. I haven't checked that out yet. So I feel like I need to catch up on a lot of TV and games. Maybe I should just keep it a little casual and just stick with the Forza and maybe a little Darkest Dungeon 2.
Halo multiplayer, maybe.
There's one YouTuber I watch who's actually playing Halo. On his channel, and he describes the strategy of playing that game so well, where I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm terrible. I've never thought about the game this way. I've never actually put that much thought. I'm like, and then watching him makes me want to play it. But I will eventually. I don't know when I'll jump into it. I get tempted. I feel like I still want to wait just to play the campaign, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah. For me, I'll be continuing Marvel's Avengers, the Kamala Khan storyline, and then I might play a little more of the Halo multiplayer, just to get my feet a little bit more wet into that. So, So kind of a light week again. Yeah. So anyway, before we conclude the episode, I want to let everybody know where you can find me on social media. You can find me on Twitter at expat_gaming. Our YouTube channels, of course, at Expat 2020 Gaming and the Arena Citadel. And of course, the link to all of my links at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/expat2020. So that does it for me. Burly, where can people find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Twitter at BurlyMenGaming. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BurlyMenGaming.
Cool. And good to have you back, man. So, we missed you last week. Back. So, So, Carl, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, just on Twitter at BasedCarl.
Okay. All right. So, to end the episode, our indie recording artist spotlight. So, this week's spotlight is on Michael Shines, one of the most sought after acoustic performers and singer songwriters in the American Midwest. Michael Shines is one of the hardest working musicians on the scene. With his deeply personal songs, soulful voice, and signature phrasing, he has built a loyal fan base that stretches across the U.S. Michael can be seen live throughout the year on one of his many national tours. From his album titled Home for the Holidays, and the song is called Home to You. So for me, Expat, and Burly and Carl, we want to wish all of you here at the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, all you listeners and viewers, a wonderful Thanksgiving out there in the U.S. And if you are going home to visit family, please stay safe and protect yourselves, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much. And this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 63. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and take care. Peace out.